We have more now on the relief efforts in the wake of Hurricane Beryl's impact on Jamaica. The hurricane skirted the country's southern coast, pummeling communities as a powerful Category 4 storm. And joining us now is Senator Dana Morris Dixon, minister with responsibility for information with the Office of the Prime Minister in Jamaica. Thanks for joining us. You were there when all this happened. What was it like when the hurricane rolled through?
And thank you for having me. And I have to say hello to all of your viewers, and especially a lot of Jamaicans who are living in Toronto. It was a very difficult time during the hurricane. It was a Category 4. It did not come on land, but irrespective of that, the damage you can see from that powerful hurricane was actually quite significant. We do believe that we did fare quite well, given that it was a Category 4 right off the coast of Jamaica. If we think about Kingston didn't get as much damage as we saw in other parts of the country, but it was very intense at times, very strong winds, very heavy rain, and in the southern parts, especially in areas such as Clarendon, Manchester, and St. Elizabeth, they got the worst of it, and that's where we see the most damage from the hurricane.
Are you still assessing the damage, or recovery efforts? Has that begun?
We are assessing the damage across the country. We are hampered a little bit because of challenges in terms of electricity and connectivity. For telecoms providers, they rely on electricity from the grid to power their cell sites. So in many instances, we're not able to have the kind of communication that we would want to have with some of the affected areas. And so I know for some of your viewers, they may be trying to reach out to family members in those areas. It's really because the cell service is not that great, because electricity was lost in many of those areas. And that's because, as you know, with a wind event like Hurricane Beryl at a Category 4, power lines are going to be down, and you have to be really careful in clearing the debris from the trees and the lines so that electricity can be restored. But we are assessing the damage. Yesterday, the Prime Minister went by helicopter into the most affected area, which is St. Elizabeth, and he did several tours there. That is also our farming belt, and our farmers have been very affected by Hurricane Beryl. We're continuing to do the assessments throughout. Today, we have our military aircrafts have been up in the air assessing, our works agency has been assessing the road network. And so we believe that by the end of today, we have a cabinet meeting, and we'll be able to have a better idea of the damage that has been done across Jamaica.
You know, you can't stop Mother Nature, but is Jamaica better prepared to handle hurricanes than, let's say, 20, 30 years ago?
Oh, yes, most definitely. I think this was the most prepared we have ever been in preparing for a hurricane. We have much more advanced systems available, especially even in terms of communication for disaster recovery. We have a new system that we had just put in place that we used throughout the hurricane and was working quite well, so that the disaster response teams across the police, across the military, and all of our other government agencies could communicate quite seamlessly through the hurricane and get to the areas that needed good support. If we look at even casualties from the hurricane, right now I only have 2 confirmed deaths. I mean, 2 is too many, but you know, for a Category 4 storm, it could have been a lot worse. And we've done quite well in the preparation before, getting the message out to everyone that this was not a normal storm. It needed to be taken seriously, and I think many persons heeded that warning, and we were able to see the preparation efforts really being at the best that they could have been. And also, I have to note, too, on the resilience side, this is the first time that we've been able to say that we have, for example, catastrophe bonds and other financial instruments that we can actually have access to. Will they be enough to rebuild the parts that have been damaged? No, but at least we're in a better position than we've ever been in the past, where we actually do have some resources to assist with the recovery.
Good to hear. And what's the need finally? How can people help?
All right. Well, I think the key thing is let's get the the assessments completed, and I can come back on if you want me to after. We do have a cabinet meeting this evening, and we will be going through what that assessment is right as we speak. Our Minister of Foreign Affairs is in contact with all of our diplomatic missions around the world. In Canada, in Toronto, we have our High Commission there. You can always reach out to the High Commission. We're sending periodic updates in terms of what the need is. So for any Jamaicans, you can reach out to the Jamaican High Commission in Toronto, and they can direct you. By tomorrow, we will have disseminated much more widely an account number where individuals, whether they're Jamaican or just have come to Jamaica on vacation and want to assist, can send their support. And so we're coordinating everything throughout the course of today, and by tomorrow we'll have a better handle on what exactly we do need.
All right, we'll stay in touch and check in for that information. Yeah. Senator Dana Morris-Dixon, thank you so much for your time. All the best.
And thank you for your support too. Thank you.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
What other news now? As the cost of